Good afternoon, my name is Brad Phillips. I'm here with Puppy Steps Training and we're going to be doing Clover's demonstration today. So during this demonstration we are going to cover all 5 steps of our program, starting with socialization. Then we'll move into her manners, her obedience commands, house training, and leash training. So before we get into her manners, there's a couple things that I like to tell everyone before I let the dog out. First is you're going to hear me use the word okay quite a bit. And so okay is our marker. So it marks the correct behavior, releases from a stay. You also may hear me use the word no, which is our correction term. We use that somewhat like a misdemeanor felony. She does something bad, like breaks a stay, but it's not incredibly serious per se. Then I'll tell her no, I'll make her do it again. And I'll always end with a correct behavior. Now if she does something that's a little bit worse, like she jumps on me, she tries to steal food out of my hand, I'm going to treat that correction with a little bit more authority. I'm going to adjust my voice fluctuation and my body language and deliver more of a stern no. That just by adjusting your voice fluctuation and your body language, those two are huge indicators to a dog, and that's what they read. And so that correction is going to be a lot more meaningful than any type of physical or dominant correction that you can do. So the other thing that I like to tell people is just to remember that she is still a puppy. She's young, she has a lot of maturing and a lot of growing to do. And so always strive to improve upon the training. Never be satisfied where she's at, because this definitely is a base level. And I'm really happy with where she's at. She's done really well with the training, and I think you'll be extremely happy with her. The other thing is that she's going to go through a transition period. These next 2 weeks are going to be critical as she adapts into your home. She's going to need to get used to the way that you say things, the way that you correct, and the way that you reward. And so give her time to adjust and be patient with her. Socialization is the most important part for me, in which we've really had to emphasize with her, because when she came to us she was a little bit timid, and she's still that way. And so we've really focused on getting her out, getting her around new situations, and trying to make it a positive around loud noises. A big one for her was the trucks and the tractors, and so we've tried to get her around those loud noises. We've also tried to get her around different people, different places, animals, sounds, just trying to get a variety of new situations to help make sure that we don't have any real serious anxiety issues or aggression or timidness. Like I said, she is a little bit timid in new situations. However, she seems to come out of her shell as she gets used to it, and she's been doing a lot better. But that is something that's very important to me, and that we've really strived to work on quite a bit. And so we also do that with the commands, that we're doing the obedience on different surfaces or around different animals or people or different places. And so and I would still strive to do that, because if she comes to your house, it's a lot of new situations, and so you want to socialize her with them and make it very positive, ease her into those uncomfortable situations. And so now we'll move into our manners. And to start off our manners, we're going to do our gates and our doorways. And so anytime that she comes out of the crate or through the house door or through a kennel, we expect her to stay. Now that should be an automatic behavior, something that I shouldn't have to tell her. However, if she tries to break, I might just simply close the door or lift up my leg and walk her. And if she's really persistent on going through, I might tell her to stay. However, for the most part, it should just be an automatic behavior. Okay, good girl, good girl. Now, one thing that I like to do anytime that they're out in the house, I like to have them drag a leash around. Good girl. And I'll explain a little bit more about that here throughout the program. But the next manner would be her greeting, which is what she's doing right now. Anytime I call her to me or she approaches me, I expect her to sit. And that gets her planted so she's not jumping all over me, she's not wrapping me up with a leash. as well as I have her eye contact. And so for a dog, anytime you have their eye contact, you have 100% of their attention. And so you know they're focused on you and not going to bolt or get distracted with anything. Now, next manner would be her meal. And so anytime I feed her, I expect her to hold a sit stay. Okay. Stay. And this is a great time to work on those stays. We have what we call the 3 Ds. That's distance, duration, and distraction. And so talking is a great distraction. Moving the bowl is getting some distance between her and the bowl, or you and the bowl, as well as just making it longer. And so just you're trying to build a solid stay. Okay. Now, one thing that we do during her meal is we spend a lot of time putting our hands down in her food bowl. I want to make sure that she's not going to be aggressive towards me or towards anyone else. And so it's really important if you have small children. You don't want a toddler to go over and get growled or nipped at. She should also be comfortable with me taking her food. Sometimes we'll take her mealtime and we'll do stays 3 or 4 times. So, stay. Huh? Good. Okay, and if she tries to break like that, you can say no, or like that, and I made her sit again. And she knows what she's supposed to do, and so that's perfectly fine. So another thing that we do is we spend a lot of time handling our puppies, whether it be their paws, their tail, their ears, all these areas that can be sensitive towards a dog that they could have aggression issues or sensitivity issues with. Here. And so she's not a huge fan of the brush. She doesn't fight it, or she's not aggressive, but she's not a huge fan. And this one's a little bit prickly. I might get a softer one. But, come here. Good girl, come here. So, other manners that we focus on would be, one would be her jumping. Come here. I don't ever want her to jump on me or jump on anything else. And so if she does ever try and jump, we've instilled the command off. And so I expect her to get down if she's trying to jump on anything, as well as me. If she does try and jump on you or anyone else, it's important that you never step back. As soon as you step back, you're giving her basically the direction that she can keep jumping. Instead, you're basically encouraging it. Instead, you want to step into the jump. That way it restricts the distance, discourages the jump. And if she continues to try and jump, you can simply bring up your knee and block her. Come here. Hey. Oh, good girl. I won't push her right now. As well as you can give her a leash correction. If she tries to jump, you can give her 2 taps on the leash. And if she does end up finding someone that she wants to jump on, you can simply take her by the leash, walk her up to that person if she tries to jump, give her 2 leash corrections, which are just simple pops on the leash, and tell her off, and then walk away. And you can do that 3 or 4 times. Other manners that we focus on, one would be chewing. And so she is still a puppy and she just has to chew. And so it's best that if you have a downtime, if there's boredom, that you just give her something to chew on. That'll save you from having a lot of accidents. Besides that, we train on a base of avoiding and replacing. If you can avoid giving her free access to toys or shoes or anything of that sort, so that's going to protect against having any disasters. Now, that's not really possible in your house. There's always going to be something she can chew on. And so for that, we train on the base of replacing. And so if she started chewing on her bed, I would tell her no, and I would give her something soft that she can dig into, something of the same texture. If she tries to chew on, say, a table leg or something hard, I would give her a bully stick, something that she could get into a little bit more. But but she's definitely teething, and so she is going to have that need to chew. The other thing with toys, anytime small children play with her, I would recommend that they have a toy, something that she can grab onto, or if she gets too close and the children get nervous, they can throw it. That way she doesn't end up grabbing a pant leg or an arm or mistaking for aggression when she's just trying to play. Now the next two manners have to deal with her mouth. One is gently, and so that's if she's getting a little bit aggressive, or if she's kind of catching with her teeth, or if she's too excited. When I go to give her a treat, I would just tell her gently, and I would expect her to be very cautious when taking the treat, that she's going to take it more with her tongue than her teeth. And if you can tell that she's really wound up, I would just tell her gently before I even gave her the treat, or even attempted to. And if she tries to jump up, I'll pull it away. Same thing. Tell her gently. And she should be very, very gentle. So the last manner would be drop it. And so you never want to pull anything from your dog. You want to let them physically release the object. And so when she has it in her mouth, just grab it and tell her drop it. It's important that you never pull. Hey, come here. Come here. Maybe if we can get her out. Come here. There you go. Good girl. She doesn't drop it. Good girl. See, she really didn't want to give it to me. She was trying to escape, but when I asked her to drop it, she just gave it up, and that's what I expect. Nope. Come here. Come here. Come here, Clover. And so it is important that you never pull, never tug, but just ask her, drop it, and she should give it up. If she ever just really doesn't want to give something up and she has it, just grab it, hold it really still, and ask her to drop it. You never want to tug, you just don't want to make it a game. You want to make it very unappealing. Huh, you like your toys. Oh, drop it. Good girl. And she's very good at that, and so I don't expect she'll have an issue. It's just if she can run away with it, she just might. Huh? You like your toys. So that's it for our manners portion. Next we'll move into our obedience commands. So during this section we focus on 9 big commands. Drop it is included in there, which we've already covered. The other 8 are watch me, come, crate, go to bed, sit, down, sit, stay, and down, stay. And so we're going to start with watch me and come. Those two are our most basic commands, and we teach them from day 1. And so watch me is just to get her eye contact. So we'll see if we can distract her. Watch me. That's all I want, is her to make eye contact with me. And sometimes that's a little bit weird of a command, just because all it is to get him to look. But that can be a life-saving command if she's running out into traffic. Or it can be useful, say you drop something in the kitchen that you don't want her to get, and so you can just expect her to look up at you. Now, get her to walk away, or look away. Watch me. Okay, good girl. And that's all I want, is just that eye contact. We also say her name the same way to get her to look at us. Clover. Okay, good girl. Just to get that eye contact. Now the second one, come, is very, very basic. All it is to get her to come to you. Clover, come! Good girl. Good girl. Now, come is the one command that everybody kills first off. And the reason being is that when do you call your dog to come? It's either it's time to leave the park, or it's time to leave something alone, time to be done doing something that they want to do. And so they'll quickly build up a negative association to the word. They know that when told to come, it means that the fun's going to end. And so we try and keep a strict rule of 10 to 1. Calling her to come to us 10 times for no reason other than to give her a reward for every 1 time we have to call her to come. And so you can do that in the house, or when you're out on a walk, or out in the mountains hiking, just ask her, come! Good girl. Give her a treat, let her go. That way when that command is needed, and is critical, it is in place and the integrity is there. And also, if you're around the house and you don't need to call her to come, I wouldn't. I would simply put a leash on her or come here, anything like that to get her to come to you. That way, once again, when that command is needed, it is there. The next 3 commands have hand signals. And so that's sit, which is a scoop over the nose, down, which I'll take my hand flat and go down to the ground, and then stay is a stop sign. And so both sit and down have stays. And so we'll get her up, sit, stay. And anytime I'm telling her to stay, I'll wait till the end to give her the reward. You can also add those 3Ds right here. You're just really working on those stays. Okay, good girl. Same thing with down, and I'll give her the treat at the end, but I'll always put her in a sit first. Sit, down, stay. Okay, good girl. Right now her stays are about 20 seconds, and so we just saw basically a fraction there. But I would encourage you to keep lengthening those, really build them up, because a puppy, within the first year of their life, they can hold a stay for up to an hour if you're really persistent at it. And so, yeah, we barely scratched the surface there, but she does really well for a puppy, wonderful stays, but always be improving them. The next 2 commands don't necessarily have hand signals, but I'll always put myself in a position where she can read my body language. And so we'll start with go to bed, where I'll just step and I'll point. Clover, go to bed. So I don't care what position she's in. Most of the time she sits, but as long as all 4 paws are on the bed. And then I also expect her to hold that stay. Okay, good girl, good girl. Now, same thing with the crate. I'll just tell her, I'll point, crate. And then she's expected to stay. Really, crate's crate's a big one that I would also keep that rule of 10 to 1. I would practice it multiple times before you actually lock her up. Okay. That way, crate, when you do lock her up, she's not going to resist. Because she expects to be locked up, but it's more still a game of sorts. And so, okay, at night you might do it a handful of times and then put her to bed. Good girl. With that, now we'll talk about her crate training and her house training. So, we're going to talk about crate training for just a second. We've worked very hard making sure that she's comfortable in her crate. Right now she can sleep through the night 8 to 10 hours without needing a break, as well as she's good for up to 4 hours during the day. And usually we put her in her crate right around 10 o'clock at night and we get her out a little before 7. And so during that time she's expected to sleep. She hasn't been getting a break for quite some time. However, during this transition period, these next 2 weeks, sometimes the stress can cause a loose stool. And so if she does start whining in the crate, I would suggest letting her out, giving her an opportunity. Okay, outside. And we'll talk about that in just 1 second. Okay. Okay. As I was saying, if she does start to whine in her crate, just let her out for a break, but then always put her right back in so that she doesn't think that she can whine to get out. Now, her house training, as you saw, she just volunteered the bell. She's expected to ring the bell when she needs to go to the bathroom. She also knows a certain area where she goes. And so those two things she is going to have to relearn at your house. And so that's our house training, and so it is most involved for you. And I'm going to teach you how to do it the same way that I do it. And the key with the house training is to get as many repetitions as possible. You want her to recognize where the bell is at as quick as possible, and to realize that it means the same thing at your house as it does here. And so when we start, we do what's called targeting the bell. And so I just take the bell and I sit in front of her, and every time she hits it, I say, okay. And so I'll do that 3 or 4 times right in a row, or a handful of times, or however many you need in order to get her consistently ringing the bell. After a handful of repetitions doing that, I bring her over to the door, and I'll still hold them, but I'll be right next to the door. And every time she touches them, I'll say, okay. Do that a handful of times, however many you need to get her consistently ringing them. At which point then I would hang them on the bell, on the door, and just try and prompt her to ring them. And if you have to, you can hold them out a little bit, lure her over, and every time she hits it, say, okay. Do that a handful of times, then switch the word to outside. Have her ring it, tell her outside. And every time she rings the bell from this forth, you'll tell her outside, or really emphasize the word outside. And so she rings it on her own. I say, oh, you want to go outside? Let's go outside. And so then you're going to take her by the leash, and you're going to go out to the area where you've designated for her to go. Give her about a minute or 2, and then bring her right back in. When she goes, you want to make it very positive. And so I'm going to tell her, good outside, good girl. Give her lots of rewards. Give her, we call it a jackpot, 3 or 4 rewards right there. Give her a good pet. Make it very positive, and so she understands that that's what you want her to do. At which point, after you've done that, I would set a timer for 30 minutes. And every 30 minutes, I would take her by the leash, bring her over to the bell. You can tap it, you can do whatever you need to get her to ring it, and then take her outside. And I would do that for the next day or 2. It's very menial task where it's a lot of back and forth, a lot of effort, but it's going to pay off huge. Okay, outside. Just like that, after you do it, you want her to ring the bell as many times as possible. I also want her to wait at the door. Okay, good girl. Okay. If she is kind of refusing to ring the bell, I would put some peanut butter, some bacon grease, something that's really appealing to her, just to help her, to prompt her ring the bell. However, I don't think you'll have any issues with that if you target the bell and move over to the door to make it very rewarding. I'm going to kind of discourage it right now and keep her preoccupied on me, but at your house you want to take her out as many times as you can, because she is relearning that at your home. The other thing that's critical is that she does wear that leash around. That way, if for some reason she gets lost in your house or tries to squat, you have a quick way to grab her and take her out. And if you do ever catch her squatting, you want to make a negative association with the action. And so we'll stomp, no, and you'll make a bunch of noise, and you'll try and make it very unrewarding. A couple other things that are important with the house training is that you give her 100% of your attention. Now, if you can't give her that, put her in her crate. You do not want to give her the opportunity to get lost or in your house, or to have an accident. And so it has to be 100% attention. She's completely fine in her crate if not. And I would recommend that it's you, it's not one of your kids. Okay, outside. As soon as you target the bell, you're going to be going out quite a few times. They just understand that, or they just want treats, and so they'll start ringing you, which is good, which is what you want. Okay. Okay. Now, just a couple things to look for with the house training is as soon as she wakes up, whether it be she's been sleeping in the crate or taking a nap on her bed, just take her out. She's going to need to go to the bathroom. Or if she gets up and starts sniffing really heavily or going in circles, I would take her out. She probably needs to go. Also, within about an hour of eating, she's going to have to go to the bathroom. And so with her mealtime, we usually feed her right around 7 o'clock in the morning and then right around 6 o'clock at night, giving her 4 hours before we go put her to bed to clear out her system. But if you do have any questions with the house training, let me know. I want to make sure that you have a smooth transition and don't have any accidents. And so she's done really well. She's been volunteering the bell. And so that's exactly what you want. You want her to volunteer it and get as many repetitions as you can. Keep that timer for 30 minutes for the next day or two, and then you can gradually bump it up. Right now our standard is 2 hours without needing a break, and she's far surpassed that. Another thing though with that transition, that stress often causes them to need to go to the bathroom a little bit more, as well as it causes some diarrhea. And so you can give her a little bit of pumpkin or yogurt in her food to ease her stomach, as well as just 100% supervision so she doesn't have the opportunity to have an accident. But with that, we'll move into her leash training. With her leash training, we take them on 2 types of walks. We do an off-leash walk, which is basically just for them to be a dog. Or you can take her on a long lead until you're completely comfortable that she's going to listen and respond to you. But that's basically just for her to run around and sniff. And when I do that, I take a pocket full of treats and I call her back to me every minute or two. It's a great way to work on cum, as well as soon as she comes back, she gets a treat and she gets to go run around again. And those walks are very critical for dogs' mental health. And so you need to take them on at least 1 a week. The second type of walk is our attention walk, and that's her like your daily walk around the block or things of that sort. With that, we have 2 commands. Let's go, just signifying we're moving, and easy if she tries to pull. And so easy, you want to be aware of whether she's pulling or whether she's just kind of finding the end of the leash. Because if they get distracted or they're walking around you, oftentimes they just kind of feel that pressure. And so as soon as they feel that pressure, you don't want to give them a big jerk back. But if you feel her start to pull, I would tell her easy. I expect her to put the slack back in the leash. If for some reason she's just really wanting to pull and she doesn't respond to easy or a little leash correction, then I would turn around and start walking the other way. And as soon as she regains composure, then you can continue on the way that you're going. But we'll take a little walk real quick and I'll show you what I expect, because I expect her in a heel position right next to me with a nice loose leash. And so we'll step outside. Bear with me, I don't have a cameraman, so I'm going to be holding the camera and try and focus on her. So it might be a little bit rough, but we'll show you that and we'll go from there. Let's go. So I don't want her pulling at all. I want her to check in. If she starts to get out there a ways, you can tell her easy. But that's what I want right there. Is her to walk next to me with paying more attention to me than the distractions around. Alright, let's go. Like I said, if she tries to pull, easy. I expect her just like that. She stepped back, put the slack back in the leash. Usually when you do this, you want to give her a treat every couple of times she looks up. That way she's staying focused on you and not on the distractions around. But she's doing great for me not giving her any attention in all reality. We at Puppy Steps Training would like to thank you for the opportunity to train Clover here. She's been great. I think you'll really enjoy her. And please keep us updated. We'd love to see pictures. We'd love to see how they're doing. And if you have any questions or concerns, please call me. Thank you. Bye-bye.